the ambiguous role of finance. On the one hand, we all know that a functioning capital market is important for an economy and for the economic growth, but on the other hand, we have growing evidence that financial market can actually have detrimental effect, and at least, that is to say, ambiguous effect. There are evidence about resource misallocation, boom and bust cycle, hysteresis effect of financial crisis. So we would like to know, for you, how can we fix that? Do we need financial markets? If we need financial markets, what kind of financial markets do we need? Is that a problem of size? If we fix the too much, too big, will we fix everything? And you also emphasize a lot in your book the importance of rent. Banks have sit on a huge rent. Do you think that fixing competition in the banking market and the financial markets in general would address this ambiguous effect of financial markets on the economy?
Yeah, so let me thank you very much. It was a real pleasure to be here and to be in this very beautiful room. Let me begin by trying to put it in maybe a macroeconomic perspective. That in the years before the financial crisis of 2008, the percentage of GDP in the U.S. economy that went that was in finance went from about 2.5% to 8%. And you asked, what were all these people doing? And this 8%, they were very well-paid people. And with all those resources going into finance, you would have thought that you would have gotten a better performing economy. What is the function of finance, as we usually talk about it? It is to allocate capital, one of the scarce factors of production, more efficiently. So you say you have all these resources, all these people engaged in making capital resources more efficiently allocated, and what happened? Growth slowed down. So their net output was negative. It wasn't positive. And what we got at the end was the financial crisis of 2008, and we got a very large increase in inequality, much of which was associated with finance because they got paid enormous salaries, but one of the things that they were engaged in was exploiting poor people with predatory lending, abusive credit card practices, a whole array of activities. So that way some people would say, well, why don't we just get rid of the financial sector? And you mentioned that at the end we'll maybe have time to talk about climate change, but one of the advantages of global warming is that Wall Street, the southern end of Manhattan, will be underwater. So that would be the end of Wall Street. But we'll have to pay them to move, but we'll come to talk about that later. But the fact is that you cannot have a well-functioning economy without a financial sector because you have to allocate capital well. Now, since the 2008 crisis, there's been a lot of discussion about strengthening regulations. But what is very interesting to me is that most of the discussion of strengthening regulations is about preventing the financial sector from imposing harms on our society. So regulations about excessive risk-taking that could cause another crisis, regulations to stop market manipulation like they did in the foreign exchange market, in the manipulating derivatives markets, to stop the kinds of predatory lending practices that helped create the crisis, to stop some of the abusive credit card practices. But almost none of the discussion is going back to the foundations of why do we have the financial sector, and why don't we, is there anything we can do to make the financial sector do more of what it's supposed to do? So, for instance, one of the things that the financial sector is supposed to do is provide finance to small businesses so that they can create more jobs and expand. But in fact, the lending to small businesses has actually come down, has not improved. One of the classically, in textbook stories, one of the functions of a good financial market is called intermediation, taking money from households and translating it to firms. So people who have excess savings can take those excess savings, and firms can use those excess savings to grow. Well, in the U.S., the financial markets have actually been engaged in disintermediation. That is to say, their major function has been to take money out of the corporate sector and give it to rich individuals. So just to give you an example of this, last year there was not net new stock issues, but negative stock issues. It's called stock buybacks. $1 trillion of stock buybacks occurred last year. So this is money that could have gone to more investment, that could have gone to wage increases, and went into the pockets of mostly very wealthy individuals. So to me, it's very clear that the financial sector is not doing what it's supposed to. Let me give you another example. When we talk about money, we talk about the importance of the means of payment. And today, with modern electronics platforms, it costs fractions of a penny to transfer. When you go to a store and you buy something, you can use a debit card or a credit card, and what that does is to send a message that money is taken out of your bank account and transferred to the merchant's bank account. That's part of a means of payment. That's a transaction that costs a fraction of a penny. But the banks, the financial sector, charges for that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5% to the merchant. Why did they get away with it? Market power. They have an enormous market power. And to understand how they exercise that is very complicated. There are contracts that they sign with the merchants, or force the merchants to sign, that says they can't charge for those services to the customer who eventually buys them, who benefits from them. They can't even advertise what they are. They can't let the customers know how much they are paying. The merchant is paying. In effect, what that means is if you use what they call a high rewards credit card that gives you a discount because you get money back, poor individuals who are paying cash are subsidizing